I'm not really much of a writer, but the writing that I do for fun is in these journals right here. These are my reading journals, and I have been keeping them since the summer of 2007, which was after I've just finished up 7th grade. Um, so I kind of keep them just to keep track of the books I've read and get refreshers on them if I forget and want like to know something for like a lesson plan or to tell someone about the book. So this is the first page of the journal that I started in 2007, and I just listed all the books I had read. So in 2007, I was reading the Click novels and the Series of Unfortunate Events and the Chronicles of Narnia. So I don't know, I think it's just neat to look back at what I was reading when I was younger and kind of how I wrote and like what I thought was important. So what I write in these journals is I write about the characters. I'll write like analysis. I'll write down summaries, and a lot of the times I write down quotes that I found memorable or just really meaningful to me. One thing that I've been doing recently is keeping track of my reading challenge, and I started doing a reading challenge at the beginning of 2015. I found on the internet a list of categories of books that everyone should read, and I made this into a reading challenge for the year. I wrote out all the categories, and I challenged myself to read one book from each category throughout the year, and there were things like graphic novels, memoirs, things like that. So I'll show you. Here it is, and so I just have been keeping track of the title of the book, the author, when I read it, and December just started, so I have 1 month left, and I have 4 books left to read. The categories I haven't done so far is a book you were supposed to read in school but didn't. I think for that one I'm going to read The Education of Little Tree. I was supposed to read it my junior year in high school, but I never finished it. The other one is a book you started but never finished. This, I think I'm going to read The Homecomer. No, what is it called? Homecoming. And this book I started a long time ago, and I just got through it like the first half and just put it down and forgot about it. So I want to pick that back up again. The next category I have to read yet is a book originally written in another language, and I'm planning on reading nothing. I believe it was originally written in Danish, and then it was translated into English. So that I plan on reading. And then the last one I have to read yet into 2015 is a book that takes place in your home state. And American Gods by Neil Gaiman takes place partially in Wisconsin. So I think that's what I'm going to do for that. So now that it's the end of the year, I've been thinking a lot about what I am going to do for 2016 as a reading challenge, and I love making lists, so I've listed out ideas and things like that in my journal, and I've came up with like 3 possible ideas of what I should do. I'm thinking about doing like checking off my to read list, because I have a lot of like to read lists in all the different notebooks, and they just get longer and longer, and so kind of just going through those and checking them off. So here is one of my to read lists. So I think that would be good, just so that I can make some progress on that. Another idea I had was books I own but haven't read, and I own a lot of books and I haven't read all of them, so I think that would be a great thing to do, just so I can like tell people about them when they see them on my shelf. And then the last idea I had was doing like an author a month, And this is one that I've kind of been leaning towards because there's so many authors that I just have tons of their books on my to-read list. And so I was thinking of doing picking an author each month and reading 4 of their books. So I've kind of played with this idea a little bit and wrote up a list of what I would be reading, and I have it here in my journal. So I have them all listed out, and I'm planning on reading J.K. Rowling in January because I haven't read any of the Harry Potter books, and there's something I want to read before I become a teacher because I know a lot of kids like those books. In February, I want to read Jerry Spinelli books. I read some of his, but not all of them, and he has a lot. In March, I have Octavia Butler. I read one of her books, and I really liked it, so I want to read more. And then April, I have Ransom Riggs. In May, Charles Dickens. In June, Roald Dahl. In July, Lois Lowry. In August, Louis Sachar. In September, Margaret Haddix. In October, Neil Gaiman. In November, Arthur Conan Doyle. And in December, Gary Paulson. So this is kind of what I'm hoping to do for next year's reading challenge. Writing in these journals has given me a way to write for fun, and I've always been more passionate about reading than I have about writing, so writing about reading is kind of the way I've gotten around that and ended up writing too. And it's something that I kind of hope to continue to do, just so I can be more on top of things when people ask me for reading recommendations and things like that. So, yeah, this is just a way that I have found to enjoy writing more, and it's something that I hope to continue to do as I start teaching.